Yeah, Donald Trump looks, and man, I supported him this last year. I apologize for doing so. It was a bad calculation. At the time, it seemed like the right one. But he should be impeached and removed for this one. Wow. And not on some like not on some ridiculous Nancy Pelosi. Of course, the Congress will never do it because they're all a bunch of, corrupt hacks.
This is the one thing they support. This is like yeah.
Donald Trump should be impeached and removed for this. All of his supporters should turn on him. It's the absolute betrayal of everything that he ran and campaigned on and everything that he stood for. And I will say, despite the fact that, Donald Trump supporters have been labeled like a cult following, and that certainly is true for a percentage of his supporters, he is going to lose his coalition over this. I don't just speak for myself when I say there are a lot of us who simply will not go along with this.
Hey, everybody. This is Troy over at Uncomfortable Truths. Thanks for checking me out. So we've got a big one today because Donald Trump decided that he was going to bomb a country that didn't attack us on behalf of Israel. The country that is currently at war with about 6 of its neighbors, and we're going to be funding the entire thing. This is an absolute betrayal of MAGA, and for those of you that can't handle it, I'm sorry to hear it, but that's the reality of this situation because Donald Trump ran on a peace platform such as ending the conflict in Ukraine. And what's he done? At this point, he's continued to arm that over in Ukraine who refuses to end the war and is getting his people killed. That's what Donald Trump has going on. Now, if that isn't enough, he then decided that he was going to continue the war in the Middle East and he was going to allow Israel to actually escalate it. And for those of you that are saying, well, what's Israel going to do? Well, they're going to defend themselves because it is not America first for us to be going out of our way in order to support a country like Israel. Israel is not a good ally. In fact, they're a horrible ally. They constantly lie, get us dragged into wars, and this ends up costing Americans tons of lives, tons of money, and all of our credibility. This is the exact same thing that happened when they dragged us into war with Iraq. Take a look.
There is no question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever. The nuclear armed Saddam will place the security of our entire world at risk. And make no mistake about it, if and once Saddam has nuclear weapons, the terror network will have nuclear weapons.
So there's Bibi helping to lie us into a disastrous war with Iraq, but I'm sure this time he's telling the truth, right? This time we can trust him. This time they were definitely going to have a nuke within 2 days and we had to do something immediately to stop it. If you believe that, you're a child. The truth of what's going on right now is Trump got on all fours so he could slobber on that uncircumcised Bibi.
I'm obsessed. You just poke a hole in it. Oh my God, I choked on something.
And I hate to admit it, but at this point, it's clear that Trump is completely under the control of the Israeli government, which is a shame because when he ran in 2016 against all of the neocons and against all of the warmongers, he was the one who was saying that we need to put America's interests first and not get entangled in these wars in the Middle East that don't benefit America. But that isn't actually what he's doing now that he's in office. And that's why you're seeing this divide among Trump supporters and among MAGA. You have the people that actually want to put America first. And then you have the people that are going to go around and kiss Trump's ass, even when he's doing something that is obviously stupid and not in the interest of America.
Make no mistake about it, we are at war with Iran right now. The United States of America is. Donald Trump has betrayed MAGA, betrayed America first. He has made the most disastrous decision to lead America into another war. Now, if they want to say that, look, there is an argument here, I suppose, that perhaps Iran is a better candidate for a regime change than Iraq or Libya was. This is the argument they're going to make. It seems a much more compelling argument that we're staring at yet another disaster. And as you were pointing out, Crystal, I heard a little bit of your segment as I was waiting here. Yeah. As you were pointing out, which I think is really the most important point, is that this is the celebrating. Yeah. It's just like unbelievable. It's 24 hours into it. They're all celebrating how easy this was.
So for those of you with short memories or who were too young to remember the lead up to the Iraq War, this is exactly how that happened. We were fed a bunch of lies about how all of a sudden Iraq was going to have weapons of mass destruction and we have to fight them over there before we have to fight them over here. And this led us to an atrocious war that lasted decades, cost Americans trillions of dollars, and we ended up pulling out and not getting anything for it whatsoever. That is exactly what's happening here. And what's pathetic is they're using the exact same playbook, and they're even trotting out the same characters like Bibi to get us into this war. It is not going to end well because we already have seen how this movie plays out. And Trump promised that he was going to make sure that we weren't dragged into any more unnecessary wars in the Middle East. And let me ask you, I'm in Colorado. What the hell do I need to worry about Iran for? Do you really think that Iran's on its way to come mess with us if we were to not have anything to do with Israel? Let Israel fight its own battles. Okay, Israel had a problem. That's unfortunate. Well, good luck dealing with that, because it is not our job to come in and rescue you, because you're a country that has universal health care. You fly people from all over the world so they can do mission trips over in Israel. Okay, well, if you want to spend money on that, more power to you. But I have no interest in spending American tax dollars when you can more than take care of yourself. And if you can't, well, don't start shit and there won't be no shit. But that isn't how they worry about things in Israel, because they know that we have our leaders completely under their thumb who are willing to do whatever it is they want. So in case you were wondering, you actually work for Israel at this point. And honestly, a lot of that now is because of Donald Trump.
Look, I remember, I was a little kid at the time, but I do vividly remember the celebrations after the Gulf War in 1991. And they were like, look how easy that was. And we didn't take any losses. We went on to be bogged down in that country for 30 years following that war. We all remember the mission accomplishment. We all remember Hillary Clinton saying, we came, we saw, he's dead. A few years later, when she was running for president, she wouldn't dare bring up Libya because it was so obviously a colossal failure. So the people celebrating this right now are just, they've lost their minds. I mean, people get swept up in war fever.
The flashbacks, the WMD talk, the like celebratory mission accomplished vibe, in that clip with Bibi, and I've heard so many others say this, they're yearning for freedom. I mean, it's just like, it makes me feel like, has everybody just erased their memories of what happened here? Yeah. It's utterly insane to me.
Jesus Christ. Well, as much as I hate to agree with that borderline communist crystal ball, on this, she's absolutely right. There is no reason for us to be supporting Israel whatsoever, particularly when it comes to going to war with Iran. Now, they want us to go ahead and send our money to Israel, so why don't you go ahead and get a second job just so that you can help the war effort for another country? This has nothing to do with us, and we shouldn't be involved whatsoever. It's a complete waste of our time, resources, and I bet it's going to be American lives if things keep going this direction. Now, if you think that you can bomb another country, just like Trump's saying, and then turn around and say, well, we want a peace deal. We want to make peace now that we've already bombed you. That is an act of war. And pretending that you're not at war when you do those things is completely ridiculous. But Bibi Netanyahu is going to continue to drag us this direction. And let's not pretend that Trump doesn't have any sort of responsibility for this, because he could have completely denied their requests. There is nothing that says that Trump has to continue to support Israel, and it's complete nonsense that we're actually going ahead and doing this. And Bibi is going to lie, and he's not even going to do a good job doing it.
I want to talk about the nuclear threat, and I want to talk about President Trump. You just said Iran tried to assassinate President Trump twice. Do you have intel that the assassination attempts on President Trump were directly from Iran?
Through proxies, yes. Through their intel, yes. They want to kill him. Look, he's enemy number one.
Bibi Netanyahu is so full of shit right here that the slowest kid on your block would be able to see through these lies. There was no credible threat to Donald Trump's life from the Iranians in this situation. And Bibi wants you to believe that you should take his word. Now remember, this is the same person that lied us into war about WMDs. This guy lies nonstop, and he wants you to believe that some unnamed proxy gave him information that allowed us to stop some assassination attempt. If there was evidence, we would have seen it by now. And there is no reason that Americans should believe a word that comes out of Netanyahu's mouth, because the man is a liar and a warmonger.
The accusation that Iran was trying to assassinate Donald Trump just doesn't meet the most basic of smell tests. I mean, like, so you're telling me that the Iranian regime essentially declared war on the United States of America already, tried to murder the sitting president, And yet his response was to try to negotiate with them for a couple months until finally we had Israel attack them. Does that make sense to anybody? They tried to murder Donald Trump and then he entered negotiations with that. Come on, this is too ridiculous.
Dave Smith laid this out perfectly. War with Iran is going to be absolutely catastrophic for the United States. It's going to be horrible for the America First movement, and it's going to absolutely wreck the Donald Trump presidency. What we are seeing happen right now is the complete and utter destruction of the Make America Great Again movement. And this is on no one's shoulder but Trump. Now, for those of you that can't deal with this fact, well, I'm sorry to be the one to come out and tell you the truth, but we were lied to about Donald Trump. And I, for one, am not going to go out and support a war that I know is a mistake just because some of you can't handle the fact that I'm making fun of your daddy Trump. Now, you need to grow up, put your big boy pants on, and if you can't deal with any sort of criticism, you know where the unsubscribe button is. For the rest of you that want honest opinions, you know where to go. Hit like and subscribe, and check me out here on Uncomfortable Truths. Take care.